Welcome to the next phase of the instructional cycle, adapting your instruction. Today's world is competitive, challenging, and evolving at a rapid pace. The transition from high school to college, careers, and life can be daunting for even the highest achieving students. Because of this, all students need access to grade level standards. They need teachers who unpack the standards and make them accessible, creating learning progressions with weekly success criteria that clearly outline exactly what students need to know and are able to do in order to be successful. Students need teachers who then plan and deliver instruction that helps them meet the success criteria. And while that sounds like a lot, providing access is simply the on-ramp to student success. To say, "we taught it, they should have learned it," isn't good enough. The journey is not complete until instruction results in all students achieving mastery of the standards. For decades, the field of education has talked about using data to drive instruction as a solution to student underperformance. We know that when teachers not only collect and analyze data, but then use the data to strategically plan, students are more likely to achieve mastery. We've learned that knowing those students who have got it and those who have not is an important first step, but not enough. A recent national analysis of teacher teams found that while many teams of teachers have data present at their meetings, these data rarely lead to instructional changes in the classroom. In fact, the most common outcome of a meeting with data present was a mere discussion of student grouping. Specifically, teacher teams confirmed that students were in the correct groups or classes, or moved students into different groups. The problem is, that is like moving the chairs on the Titanic and expecting a different end to the story. While intentional grouping is helpful, teachers must move from discussions about grouping into discussions about why students didn't reach mastery, what additional instruction is needed, and how they will deliver the instruction. In short, they must have data-driven discussions about adapting instruction, and they must act on them. So where do we go from here? No teacher receives 100% student learning with every lesson. Even the best planned evidence-based lessons can fail to result in all students demonstrating success criteria. Sometimes a lesson misses the mark completely, leaving a classroom of students unable to achieve success. And even when a lesson is relatively successful and many students get it, due to complex gaps in understanding or lack of prior knowledge and exposure, some students need ongoing scaffolding and additional time, or specially designed interventions to master grade level standards. And then there are those students who learn concepts quickly and need opportunities to extend their thinking through meaningful tasks that require application or original research. When teachers share a sense of collective efficacy, they believe that together they and their colleagues can impact student achievement and ensure that every student has the opportunity to achieve mastery of grade level standards. Collaborative teacher teams use their time during weekly meetings, developing the skills to use data to inform their practice. Teachers start anticipating potential points of confusion for students before they instruct, and build into their lessons opportunities to scaffold so all students not only have access to grade level standards, but have the supports necessary to learn those standards. They help one another build plans that include regular checks for student understanding during instruction. They use writing, dialogue, and nonverbal cues to see what students know in real time so they can immediately clarify or correct misconceptions and mistakes. They pre-plan rigorous learning tasks that can be used when some students show mastery of the success criteria from the start and need additional opportunities to extend their learning. They plan and administer well-aligned short-term assessments after instruction and use what they learned from the data to continue the process of adapting instruction. Understanding the components of the adapt phase of the instructional cycle helps collaborative teacher teams be intentional about how they can use their data to inform their practice. So let's review the components of the adapt phase of the instructional cycle. First is scaffolding and supports. Many students' learning challenges can be preempted through proactive planning to address complex gaps in daily lessons using evidence-based scaffolding and supports, like modeling, guided practice, and targeted specific feedback, just to name a few. Another component is reteaching. During every lesson, effective teachers check for understanding and adjust to better meet the needs of students in real time. If after a lesson a large number of students continue to demonstrate a gap in understanding, teams can analyze student work and develop a plan to reteach. Reteaching the misunderstood content in a different way is an effective way to get students back on track. Another component is responsive intervention. Delivering responsive interventions for students who have not yet mastered the weekly success criteria is a critical component of a comprehensive system of support. Teams should utilize short-term assessment data to drive instruction and ensure that intervention groups change on a regular basis based upon a deep understanding of which students from each class are learning what and how well they are learning it. And the last component is intensive intervention. In every system, there may be reasons for a small number of students that require intensive interventions to address significant learning needs. These types of learning needs are typically ongoing and warrant the expertise of professionals in specialized roles within the school. Intensive interventions are differentiated in direct response to student gaps in understanding and are designed to help students build new skills, build fluency in skills, and encourage students to apply existing skills to new situations. So now you know why adapting instruction is important and what your options are for using your classroom data to inform your practice. So now the fun begins. You can imagine the possibilities.